Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a series in which I try and teach you how to play Heroes of the Storm. Hopefully you actually do get better from this video and not worse, but if you don't, well, that's very unfortunate for both of us. Anyway, what we're using right now is the watch feature in Heroes of the Storm, something that a lot of League of Legends players have wanted for a long time now and haven't gotten. Heroes of the Storm has it in beta, which is actually quite a bit easier for Blizzard because it was already built into the StarCraft 2 engine, which they used to make this game. That's me reassuring my team that we're going to wreck some bitches. That is not what happens in this game. Spoiler alert. First problem, Chen is over there just chilling out. He's not actually helping, even though the game has actually started. Now, another problem, one of our players tries to go in alone and he goes in too hard. As you can see, he gets deeper into the fray even though he knows he is outmatched. Even if he did have Tyrande, he doesn't have the damage to back it up, and he can't win that fight no matter what, so that makes going in for the kill a terrible idea. He should have backed off a lot sooner. And that's kind of the running theme of this entire game. Everyone just should have backed off a lot sooner than they did, and they should have waited for backup or just not have gone in at all. That's kind of the first lesson you have to learn whenever playing any MOBA. You should focus on not dying more than you should focus on getting kills, especially when you're just starting out on MOBAs, which I imagine everyone in this game is, because it is only in beta. Nobody's had it for very long now. This was a fairly evenly matched team fight, except they had an extra player. Whenever you're going into a team fight, if the enemy team has more players than you do, you need to back off immediately because chances are you are going to lose. And losing helps absolutely no one. All you're going to do is give the other team experience, and they're going to hit 10 a lot faster than you. And hitting 10 is important in this game because that's the level at which you can get your ultimate ability. Now, I do a very bad mistake and I go in too hard for the kill right there. I go in after Jaina, and as a result I get pretty much destroyed by their entire team. Destroyed like none other. And my team isn't faring too well themselves, even though Jaina is about to go down, and she does go down, but they still have the advantage because my team is incredibly low on health and incredibly low on numbers. But they still keep going in for it, even though they should have given up quite a while ago, especially Tyrande. Tyrande is going to die very quickly because she cannot take damage whatsoever. Diablo took a fall for the rest of his team, which is very nice of him, but ultimately he probably could have gotten away, and he probably should have when he had the chance. Now, as for that team fight, it was pretty evenly matched. We didn't have to run out of there, but the problem with this entire game so far is that everyone's ignoring their lanes. Nobody on our team is really getting any kind of XP, and although we are focusing on the map objective, which you always should be, we don't actually collect the coins. We're actually just fighting over the pirate, and no one cares about Blackbeard. Fuck Blackbeard. If you don't have the coins to approach Blackbeard, just ignore him entirely until you do, unless the other team is turning in gold, in which case you probably should group up and attack them, but if you don't have the group to do it, then just get out. Yes, Chen should indeed. Yes, we should group up, but you shouldn't be going in alone. Now, you actually should wait to group up. You should wait for your teammates to catch up to you. If you're like Chen and you are just flying in alone, then you have nothing to complain about because you're being more of a dumbass than everyone else. You should not be going in alone. As much as you want your team to group up, you actually should be waiting for them to group up. Now, I realize we're behind on XP, so I go back to lane and I just focus on getting some XP. However, everyone else on my team goes back and fights over the pirate for no reason. Again, focusing on the map objective is always the most important match, or the most important aspect of any match of Heroes of the Storm. You should always be focusing on map objective. Anytime the map objective comes up, you should drop everything else and go for it immediately, except for this map, in which case the pirate is always there, but you should be focusing on getting coins. Too many people focus on just having control of the pirate, which is completely meaningless unless you have the coins to actually turn in. Again, yet more team fights that we're just going into undermanned or just underpowered. I get attacked by Diablo and run off like I should have, because one-on-one Vala isn't going to be able to fight anyone very effectively. Now it is 2-on-1, so we're a bit better. Don't let them cap. And see, that would be a good bit of advice, but they outnumber us quite heavily, and so there's nothing we can do. It's better to just let them cap than it would be to die and then let them cap, because there's no way we can stop them. In a team fight, we would get utterly destroyed, like we're getting destroyed right now. Poor Tyrande went in too hard. If you are a ranged or healing character, always stay in the back. Don't forget to do that. Always stay behind everyone else. Indeed, Chen. Not very helpful, but thank you for your input. Yes, we do need a plan. Yes, we do need to stick together, but it's not incredibly helpful at the moment when we should be laning. We don't need to be sticking together. We don't necessarily need to be fighting over the pirate 100% of the time. Now our Chen goes in way too hard. God damn it, Chen. Don't go in way too hard if your enemies or your allies aren't close enough to you. Especially if you're just going to jump in front of all of your allies, you're just going to get wrecked. Don't split off from anyone. Don't be a hero. Just stick with your team and back off when you need to. This was a great case of people just going in too hard and not backing off when they knew that they were losing. And you do have to admit to yourself when you're losing. I know it's very difficult to do, but just admit that you're losing and walk away from the team fight. Now see, what they've done here is they've effectively gotten us to all get out of our lanes. We have no map control, we have no control of the pirate, we have no control of coins. We have absolutely nothing because they've killed a lot of us, and they've gotten us to just back off completely because they know they have power and they have almost complete map control. One thing they don't have is control over mercenaries, which we could have gotten, but in this particular case it's not happening because no one's taking care of the mercenaries. I could have done it by myself, but I was a bit skittish because I was still kind of underleveled. Also, they have 2 levels on us now. More importantly, they're level 10, which means they have their ultimate abilities. We do not. We should not be team fighting them. Even though we do happen to get Jaina down, we shouldn't have gone into that team fight because it was just simply illogical and it was a bad idea overall. There's that poor fish flapping around. I'm very sad for him. This guy tries to get away. I try to help him. I shouldn't have done that. I probably should just gotten away myself because now I'm going to get utterly and totally wrecked. Fortunately, I had Tyrande there, and she was able to heal me, but still, I shouldn't have put myself in that dumb position. Now again, we should have just been going for XP at this point. We need to get back, but for some reason Chen just keeps going back into team fights, and so we have to help him, or else they're just going to keep killing us and getting more XP and over-leveling us even further. At this point, we should have just left. We should have focused on getting XP in order to get up to level 10 quicker than we actually did. Now this is an example of another poor team fight. Everyone's kind of split off from each other, even though we do kind of have a team. A bunch of our team gets killed because they're just kind of wandering off by themselves. And most importantly, this guy, forgot his name, Tyrael, from Diablo. He should have backed off a lot sooner than that. He had a lot of potential of dying. Again, you should be a lot more cautious than you think that you should be. A lot of people think that they should be MLG Pro and they should go in for every goddamn kill ever, but that's not true. Just make sure that you're not dying. Make sure you're getting XP, make sure you're staying the same level as your enemy, and make sure you're going for the map objective. I can't say that word today. I apologize. I suck balls. Make sure you're going for the map objective properly, because if you're going for the pirate when you don't have the coins, there is absolutely no point. Just make sure to get the coins first. This is a team fight we actually do particularly well in, which is coupled by the fact that we're pretty much the same level at this point. Actually, 1 level difference doesn't make a huge difference. Again, Tyrael going in way too hard. Way too hard. He's just going to get himself killed here. I would be surprised if he actually got away, and he didn't get away. He got killed like I expected him to. And he gave the enemies coins. Dying on this map is even worse because if you die, you're going to give your enemy 2 coins, and they just need a couple of coins in order to actually get the map objective and start pummeling you with the pirate ship, which isn't good. It's going to absolutely destroy you, and it's going to make their push incredibly effective, to the point where they don't even need to push. They could just focus on killing you, get even more coins, and the cycle can just perpetuate. We do manage to get one kill down in the pirate area, but it doesn't matter, because they're going to get the boss and they're going to make their push even harder, especially with their almost complete control now of the map objective and our complete loss of the map objective, plus their boss. Their push is just going to be something that we can't stop. We're going to have to focus on defense the entire time, and we're just going to get perpetually wrecked. People say that making a comeback is far too easy in Heroes of the Storm, which is kinda true, because coming back is a lot easier than any other game, but having your... how do I say this? Building momentum and then never stopping that momentum is also an incredibly easy thing to do, and that's what you should be focused on this game. Getting momentum and then never stopping that momentum, which is what the enemy team is doing a good job of doing. Again, Tyrael, I'm not sure what she was doing, going in way too hard towards the enemies, and dying. Now we just can't stop their push. They have mercenaries, they had the boss, I think we killed it off by now, and they have, most importantly, the map objective, which is the pirate ship which will just utterly destroy you. And another teammate getting killed. Actually, that was me. I'm stupid. I shouldn't have been trying to take that camp all alone, especially when I didn't know where the enemy team was. And that's a very important thing to remember. If you don't know where the enemy team is, you shouldn't be off on your own, and you shouldn't be trying to do something that's going to give you a lot of damage, like trying to take a mercenary camp by yourself. Vala is pretty good at taking mercenary camps by herself, but in this case I shouldn't have been doing it because I didn't know where the other team was. And they could have just happened to be waiting in the bushes, waiting to kill me. Which is actually what happened. Now this is another really poor team fight. You usually don't want to get into team fights if you're just with Tyrael, because she's not going to do a whole lot of damage for you. She has a bit of healing, but it's not very significant, and she doesn't have enough damage to actually justify trying to fight anyone with her. Now Chen's a real asshole, he's a defeatist asshole, and he GG's before the game is even over. I mean, we basically lost at this point, but you don't want to give up. That makes you an asshole. Do you want to be an asshole? Don't be an asshole. Now again, there are coin objectives on the map, but no one on our team really seems to be going for them, because they only seem interested in the pirate himself. And keeping control of him is nice, but again, that's where most people fail on this map. They think the map objective is Blackbeard himself. It is not. It is getting coins and then going to Blackbeard and then defending your teammates as they turn in the coins. This is also what makes the rewatch feature in any game really effective, because you can actually analyze what made your team lose. You can analyze that was barely English. You can analyze what made your team fall apart. You can analyze what you can do better. Like for example, there I could have gotten out of Diablo's way because I knew he had the fire breathing ultimate, and I probably shouldn't have gotten too close to him in the first place. I'm glad that Blizzard actually realizes how useful a replay feature actually is, and I'm glad they actually have it in the game. There's basically no way to come back at this point. They have control of everything. They're just dancing around over there. They're just taunting us basically at this point, because they have way too much momentum. They have control over all the mercenaries. They have control over the map objective. And they're just beating us in basically every team fight. Also, they're a level higher than us, so that's just insult to injury. So they have mercenaries attacking our core, they have everything else attacking our core, they're attacking our core is utterly destroyed at this point. We managed to actually kill them because they go a bit too hard in the paint. They try to get the basketball too far into the court. I don't know why they're bothering to take the boss at this point, but they start going for the boss again. I guess it doesn't really work out for them, but they start trying to go for the boss. Really, they didn't have to do that. They could have just pushed by themselves, and at this point they could have just killed our core. And it wouldn't have taken too much effort, but I commend them for trying to literally take everything on the map. Again, Tyrande trying to go in far too hard and getting destroyed. Even against that particular hero, I forgot what his name is, the Zerg dude. He's not going to do a whole lot of damage against you, but if you're Tyrande, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of damage either. Also, Tyrande, standing in the middle of all the minions. You probably don't want to do that. Going to take a whole lot of damage that way. And you especially don't want to do that when you're Tyrande, and you can't take a whole lot of damage anyway. You probably want to stay behind your minions and let them take the damage for you, but fuck me, right? I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of this game. Not a whole lot left to go, but I am going to show you our loss, because it builds character. It builds character seeing yourself lose, and hopefully you've learned something from it. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.